Now today we'll study about relative atomic mass, and in this is a in relative atomic mass, which in the short form we can also write as RAM. Now the point is that there is no detailing in your course, just a definition is being asked. And what does it mean? Actually, what happened that that atoms, like matter is made up of atoms, and atoms are the tiny particles of matter. So these atoms are extremely small and they are very light also, so they cannot be weighed directly. That is one of the biggest problem. Being so small, tiny, they cannot be weighed directly. So indirect methods were utilized to, or indirect methods were developed to determine the mass of an atom, or you can say an absolute mass of an atom. Now what happened, it's not only the concept of relative atomic mass, or RAM, which is atomic weight. There is one more concept also, relative molecular mass, that is RMM also. We'll see that also, but just now we were focusing on it. So as I told you, it was very difficult to weigh the mass of the atom, so in indirect method were used. But initially we were focusing on the hydrogen atom for that, but later on what happened ki it was changes to oxygen atom. Then after that it changes to, we used to calculate the mass of a particular atom by means of the last case was the mass of an atom of carbon. So that was the case when we were using. I'll show you all the points. So I told you that initially hydrogen was taken as a standard substance, but the problem arises that most of the atomic masses, initially it was the point that most of the atomic masses were determined by hydrogen as the standard, but not whole numbers. So that was the biggest problem. But later on we took oxygen for that, and oxygen was there, and we assigned the value for oxygen, that was 16 for its atomic mass. But nowadays that particular, actually oxygen was very close to the relative atomic mass of most of the elements calculated on its basis, and it came very close to the whole number. Several years we used to use oxygen as a standard one for the practice, but later on, it's about in 1961, what happened that this thing IUPAC adopted this thing, and they took this carbon and carbon. But the point is that they were using carbon's isotope, and what isotope is being used in carbon, that was C12. So are you getting my point? That initially we were focusing on hydrogen substance, but the problem was arising that the every other elements were not having the standard whole numbers values. Then later on oxygen was there, and on in that particular case oxygen's atomic mass was used, the value that was used was 16. But later on, the best part was that IUPAC is IUPAC is, the full form of it is International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, right? So IUPAC, they focus on a new standard of carbon, and they took carbon C12, and it was what, the isotope of carbon. You know now what are the isotopes of carbon, or what do you mean by isotopes? They were the atoms of the same elements having same atomic number but different mass numbers, right? So this was the case that we, and in this carbon has other isotopes also, you have seen in your previous classes, like C12, C11, C13. But in this, C12 is one of the most stable isotope of carbon we have, so we use that. And because of that a new scale was adopted. And what was that scale which was adapted by IUPAC? And that scale was atomic mass unit scale. We are not focusing detail on it, I have just given you an introduction. If you want to remember it you can, but there is no need focus on it, but still I just want to tell you so that you can have an idea what is the scale also. So let's focus on the scale part also. So I think you must be clear with that points whatever I have discussed. Now one thing was remaining, the formula of relative atomic mass. So the formula was, I am writing RAM, that was equal to the absolute mass of an atom of the given substance. It should be written in the same line, but my page is small, upon absolute mass of an atom of the standard substance. I think you can copy the formula of relative atomic mass, the absolute mass of an atom of the given substance divided by absolute mass of an atom of the standard substance. This is the standard substance which we have used, and this is the carbon. I'll give you one more formula also, you can understand why I am writing here standard substance, because initially hydrogen was used as a standard substance, oxygen was used, now we are using the carbon, isotope of carbon atom. So this is the formula. I'm giving you the main formula, and along with that I am giving you the definition also, that you can learn. So now you can see the definition. You can write down the definition of relative atomic mass. In bracket write down atomic weight also, and this is of an RMM of an element, or you can say RMM, atomic weight of an element, is the number of times one atom of an element is heavier than 1 by 12 the mass of an atom of carbon, C12. Now you know why we have written C12, and it's the formula. RAM is equals to mass of one atom of the element divided by 1 by 12th mass of one atom of carbon, C12. So this is the proper definition and the formula. If it comes in your examination, please write down this part, this much part. So I think everything is covered in my video, so you can cover or you can write down, right? Now we are focusing on the next topic, gram atomic mass, which is also known as gram atom. What does it mean? Actually, the relative atomic mass of the element we have calculated from the above formula. I am again telling you, numericals are not asked. In our case, in this definition and this thing formula is been there. So what is the case that whenever you are getting the values of relative atomic mass in the previous formula, from that previous formula you calculate the value for relative atomic mass for an element. So that value, the whatever will come, it will be expressed in grams. So that value we will express in grams, then this is known as gram atomic mass or gram atom. So I have written the definition also. You have to remember that the atom's value, whatever the relative atomic mass of the element will come, that will be expressed in gram. So that is the, you can say what is gram atomic mass or gram atom, and this is the definition which you can copy. Now this thing, atomic mass unit scale, we have already I have told you about it, but we are not focusing detail on it. I just want to tell you that what happened in this case. You know that the relative atomic mass of the elements you were expressing in grams. So a scale was developed, and that scale through which you can see the values of relative atomic mass, and that scale was known as atomic mass unit scale. And please remember that in this particular case, atomic mass unit scale, basically this relative atomic mass of an element is being expressed with an unit, and that unit is known as atomic mass unit. This word you will not see, but you will see in this form, AMU. So you are getting my point, that relative atomic mass, whatever you have calculated for your element, when you were calculating when you are using in terms of, or it was expressed in gram, then we were calling as gram atomic mass. But when this particular this scale was designed, and this particular relative atomic mass of an elements were expressed in a unit, and that was known as atomic mass unit, which is also known as AMU. Actually, this AMU was a definition was also given to us, and 1 AMU was equal to the quantity of mass equal to 1/12 of the mass of an carbon 12. That was the most stable isotope of carbon. I'll write down the definition. I'm again telling you this is not in your course, but still the words were coming, that's why I'm writing it. So you can see it, and if you want to copy, if you are making your notes, you can make it, but make it point that's not there in ICSC. Now the next point is relative molecular mass, that is known as RMM, or the molecular weight. Now initially you were seeing the atomic weight of an element. Now you are using the molecular weight of an element or a compound, right? You know, normally we always calculate the molecular weights of compound. We'll teach you in this chapter only. And what does it means, or what is the definition? It is the number of times one molecule, because now you are focusing on the molecules of the substance is heavier than 1/12 the mass of an atom of carbon. The last point is same, everything is same. You can focus over here. Initially in RAM of an element was there, compound was not there. Number of times one element was there, not the molecule were there of the substance, and the same sentence were there. So over here basically you are calculating the molecular weight of a compound, right? So in that case the formula is also changed, and this is the formula which you can copy: the mass of one molecule of the substance divided by 1/12 mass of one atom of carbon. It's been there. So again I'm telling you, detail of it is not there, definition is there, formula is there, so we can focus on that, and you can learn, you can make your notes, and you can copy it up. Now we'll focus on the next topic, gram molecular mass or gram molecule. It's just the same thing. When you are calculating your relative molecular mass of a substance and you are expressing in grams, then it's known as gram molecular mass or gram molecule of that particular element, right? So again I am telling you, you are calculating the relative molecular mass, and when you express its value in grams, then we called as gram molecular mass or gram molecule of that substance. So I have written the definition over here. You can write down the relative molecular mass of a substance expressed in gram is called as that. You can do it. It is known as or called as the same terms. You can write down gram molecular mass or gram molecule of that element. I can, if you want, I can write down. It's known as. So you can copy the definition. Starting with the new concept, calculation of relative molecular mass or the molecular weight. So I'm writing the question, and I'll teach you how to calculate the relative molecular mass. Then we have to see the percentage part also. Now I have written the question. You can see, calculate the relative molecular mass of sodium chloride. Atomic weights will be given to you. Sodium's its value is 23 and Cl is 35.5. Now you have to follow a pattern of it. First of all, you have to see, you are calculating what? Molecular mass or the molecular weight of what? NaCl, right? We will write down this. Then what is the point? You know NaCl formula is the sodium chloride is NaCl. Now nobody will give you the formula. Sometimes they give and sometimes they don't, so it's expected that child should know. So what is the case? It contains, if you see NaCl, there are two atoms, one is of sodium and one is for Cl. So what you will write down, the atomic weight of which is one, which one is the first one, is sodium, plus atomic weight of chlorine. ठीक है? So just see from there, it is 23, it is 35.5. So what is your answer? 58.5 will be your answer. So in the end you can write down this thing, molecular weight of sodium chloride is equals to 58.5. This way you can do your numerical. So I think you can copy this numerical, and we will do some others also, so that you can be clear with the concept. Now this is the next question. Calculate the relative atomic mass of KNO3, potassium nitrate, where K is 39, N is 14 and oxygen is 16. Right. So it is 16. Please see. Maybe possible is clearing. So it is 16. Right. What we have to do? We will write down molecular weight of whatever the compound is given to you, KNO3. Now let's first of all focus how many atoms are there. One atom of potassium, one atom of nitrogen, three atoms of oxygen are there. So we have to write down in this manner: atomic weight of K plus, or you can write down full thing, that will be okay for you. Atomic weight of potassium plus, next was atomic weight of nitrogen plus atomic weight of oxygen. Now please remember, how many atoms of oxygen was there? 3. So in front of it you have to write down 3 multiplied by atomic weight of oxygen. Now you got the formula. Now you will put the values for K. How much was there? 39 plus nitrogen was 16, oxygen was 3 into nitrogen was 14, sorry, and oxygen was 3 into 16. Now calculate it and you will get the answer. Now you can calculate it and you will get this answer. So in the last line, what you will write down? The molecular weight of KNO3 or potassium nitrate is this value. Okay, my page is finished, so I am not writing, but you write down molecular, the same line you will write down molecular weight of KNO3. If you want to write down English, potassium nitrate is this much, 101. So we can do one more example so that this point is clear to you all. Now numericals, whatever I am writing over here, they are unsolved and they are present in your books. You can see when you purchase your books. So please see, these are the practice one which I am doing over here, and solved one is there. I have not touched that part. So unsolved I am doing here so that you will get the answer when you will purchase the book. Now once again we are just starting up with it because we have to calculate the molecular weight of, they have given you luckily calcium phosphates formula, and your answer will be, just now first of all focus on it. How many atoms are there? 3 atoms of calcium, it's not one atom of phosphorus because it's in the bracket, it is 1, outside it's 2, so 2 atoms of phosphorus, and 4 2s are 8 atoms of oxygen. So this thing you have to keep it in mind. Calcium is 3 and phosphorus is 2, oxygen is 8. So let's make the formula first. Atomic weight of calcium, I am just writing the statement, later on we'll multiply, right, plus atomic weight of phosphorus plus atomic weight of oxygen. Right, now once again we are focusing. Now how many calciums are there? 3. So before that you write down 3 into atomic weight of, what is the phosphorus atom total? 2 into, oxygen is 8 into. So this is the formula: 2 into atomic weight of calcium plus 2 into atomic weight of phosphorus plus 8 into atomic weight of oxygen. Now once again focus on your this thing values. Now 3 into, how many value they have given you for oxygen, for calcium, that is 40, plus what they have given you for phosphorus is 31, and what value they have given you for oxygen, 8 into 16. So calculate it and write down the answer over here. Now the values, now the numerical is clear to you how you can calculate, right? So we'll do the next part. Now the next head is calculation of percentage composition. We'll focus on it, and it's also a numerical part and also an important part. So numericals comes in your examination, please focus on that. So I have written the question: calculate the percentage composition of water. Atomic weight of hydrogen is 1, atomic weight of oxygen is 16. So your answer should be like this. First of all, you have to calculate the molecular weight as we have done in the previous questions. So molecular weight of water is equals to atomic weight of hydrogen, I'm not writing again the atom, plus atomic weight of oxygen. Now again I am focusing on it. How many atoms of hydrogen are there? 2. How many atoms of oxygen are there? 1. So what you have to do, you have to place 2 over here. 1 के लिए there is no need to write down 1, let it be it like that only. So what you will get, 2, just focus on the atomic weights of hydrogen, that is 1. For oxygen is 16. So what you will get the answer, you will get 18. So your molecular weight of water will be 2 plus 16 is 18. So this is your answer, right? I'm just showing it because my this thing is not coming there. So this way, but over here they are not asking you about the this thing molecular weights. They are asking you about the percentage composition of water. So in this percentage composition of water, you have to see all the components in this, or percentage composition. You have to see all the whatever atoms are there, you have to see their percentage. So let's start with the, first of all we'll see about the hydrogen. So let's see if this is your 18, it is the total molecular weight of water. So how much of hydrogen will hold, or what percentage of oxygen will hold in water, so that we have to see. I think this much you have copied. I want to remove it so that I can do the second half of the question. So in that part we have calculated the molecular weight of water, and that was 18. So let's start once again. So 18 gram of water contains, how much was your hydrogen? So hydrogen was, if you remember, I am once again focusing on the this thing, we got the value is 18, right? Over here how many atoms of hydrogen was there? There were 2 atoms. If you compare it with this atomic weight, so 2 into 1 you are doing that now in that line. So what was your case? That contains, or contains how much? 2 grams of hydrogen, right? Because we are seeing hydrogen first, right? So 2 grams of hydrogen we are seeing. So 18 gram of water contains 2 gram of hydrogen. Therefore we always assume it with 100. Now in maths you have seen in unitary method. So in 100 grams of water contains how much? What you can expect, it will be cross multiply. We do not like this, this is been multiplied by this. So 2 upon 2 into, in this manner. Now we, in like maths we are doing that total marks upon the marks obtained into 100. Same pattern you have to apply. 2 divided by 18 into 100. Let's see the answer what is coming. Calculated. So when we calculated we got this thing 11.11. now the same manner we'll see the how much your oxygen is there. So once again we'll write down the 18 grams of water contains, how much oxygen was there? Only 16 grams of oxygen. Therefore 100 grams of water contains how much? 16 divided by 18 into 100. Let's see how much we get. So when we calculated this thing, 16 divided by 18 into 100, you got 88.89%. Actually the answer is not coming like this, it is coming 88.888888, and after that it is coming 9. And you, I think in physics or in maths you have learned about significant number, na? So we always try to keep it in 2 decimal place, these answers. Now this will be your answer. Now please once again focus on that your total value should come 100. So when you add 88.89 plus 11.11, you will get 100. It means your answer is correct. So this is one example of this portion. Please copy in your notes, copy. Now we are focusing on the next question. Calculate the percentage composition of carbon dioxide, CO2. Now once again we have to apply the same thing, that is the molecular weight of CO2 will be atomic weight of carbon. Over here we have single atom of carbon. Now I am directly writing twice of atomic weight of oxygen. You can, I am writing the symbols, but you write down the full name for it, for the particular element like carbon and oxygen. Now what you get the answer, that is 12 plus 2 into 16. I am not giving you the values, but you can write down over here atomic weight of carbon is 12 and for oxygen is 16, right? So shortcut I am writing, you can write down full thing. So 12 in plus 2 into 16, what will be your answer? You will get about 44 when you add it up. So what you get, the molecular weight of CO2 is 44. This is the first portion, but this is not your answer. Your answer, you have to see the percentage compositions, mean what all atoms are there, how much percentage is been there, that you have to see. Let's start with it. So you get it 44. So 44 grams of CO2 contains how many carbons? Just see, there are single atom of carbon and its weight is 12. So it contains 12 gram of carbon. Therefore 100 grams of CO2 contains how much carbon? 12 divided by 44 multiplied by 100, right? This thing, if you forget what to do, sometimes in maths we are doing cross multiplying in this manner, never forget this thing. You have learned about, if I ask you how much marks you get in your examination out of 10, you say 5. So same pattern, marks obtained divided by total marks into 100. This is the smallest way when you can remember this point. So what is your answer? You get it, when you divide it, you get 27.27% of carbon you got, right? So this is the percentage of carbon. Now we will focus for the oxygen part also. I will rub it, please copy it. Similarly, 44 grams of CO2 contains, now what we are focusing, oxygen. Oxygen we have seen how much was there, 32 grams, because there were 2 atoms of oxygen, so 32 grams of oxygen. Similarly, we have to check it, we are talking about percentage, so definitely we have to see in 100. So 100 grams of CO2 contains how much? The same pattern, 32 divided by 44 multiplied by 100, you get the answer, that is 72.73 percentage of oxygen. Now once again I want to tell you that my page is small, I am writing over here. Carbon how much we got? 27.27 for remembering. And oxygen how much we got? 72.73. When you add these two numbers, you will get 100. So it means your answer is correct. So this way you can check for a short film, but again I am telling you, it's not necessary every time it come, because the point is that na, why it will not come, maybe possible if you have maybe possible 100 is coming but your answers are different. It's my scenario, okay, I got that, check it up whether it is coming 100 or not. So it's a short form where you can judge whether you have done in a correct form or not. So this way you can do. So this is also an example for it. I am once again telling you what you have to do, that first calculate the molecular weights. Okay, molecular weight you have calculated, that is one of the easiest part. I just want to repeat it again with this point, that how maybe possible some of you have not understand it. आपने molecular weight निकाला 44, अब आपको उसमें देखना है कि आपके ऑक्सीजन के CO2 में ऑक्सीजन कितने हैं. अब देखिए इस फॉर्मूले में CO2 ऑक्सीजन के एटम कितने हैं, 2 हैं, और आपको पता है कि ऑक्सीजन का एटॉमिक वेट कितना हमने दिया रखा था आपको 16, तो 2 है, तो 2 इंटू 16 आपने करा 32 ग्राम्स है, तो यानी 44 ग्राम CO2 में ऑक्सीजन कितने हैं आपके पास, 32 ग्राम्स. अब आप, क्योंकि ये परसेंटेज का मामला है, आप परसेंटेज से देख रहे हैं, तो आप एज्यूम कर लीजिए कि CO2 टोटल आपके पास कितना है, 100 ग्राम्स है. तो 100 ग्राम्स होने की वजह से आपको ये याद रखना है, आप मैथ्स में ऐसे करते हो ना क्रॉस मल्टीप्लाई, पर यहाँ पे वो थ्योरी अप्लाई मत करना, यहाँ पे करना 32 डिवाइडेड बाय टोटल 44 इंटू 100, उससे आप वैल्यू निकालें. मैंने क्योंकि अगर आप भूल जाते हो कि आपको किससे मल्टीप्लाई, आप मैथ्स की थ्योरी लगाओगे क्रॉस मल्टीप्लाई कर लें, यहाँ मत लगाना, बस छोटी सी बात याद रखना, मार्क्स ऑब्टेन्ड अपॉन टोटल मार्क्स, उससे तुम समझ जाओगे कि अगर ये टोटल मार्क्स हैं उसके ऊपर छोटे जो आपके मार्क्स आए हुए हैं वो हैं, उसको आप 100 करते हो ना, आपसे कहा जाए कि आपको 10 में से 6 मिले, तो आपसे पूछा जाए कितना परसेंटेज, आप तुरंत कह देते हो मैम 60%. तो सेम थ्योरी यहाँ पे याद रखिएगा कि मार्क्स ऑब्टेन अपॉन टोटल मार्क्स इंटू 100. दिस वे यू कैन कैलकुलेट. आई हैव जस्ट पुट अ स्मॉल पोर्शन इन हिंदी सो दैट मे बी पॉसिबल इफ यू हैव नॉट कम थ्रू विथ माई English concept, may be possible you can understand your mother tongue. right? So this way you can complete your numerical parts. It's clear? The half of that we have already completed. This is the half thing because my page is small, right?